Welcome everyone to the show. I'm your host Don Vic. Unfortunately, my co-host ain't here. He has some problems feeding the Cookie Monster, so they got into a fight, and I don't know what happened. But he'll definitely be here at 5 o'clock for the second show. I'm hope he's all right. The Cookie Monster, and him went at it. I don't know. He tripped over the cookie. I don't know what happened, but he couldn't make it. But he'll be here at 5 o'clock. I'm here. We're gonna go on with the show. Okay. Woo! So, guys, we have a special guest coming on the show today. He's an actor. Can't wait to have him on the show. But first, I want to thank Mary Alice Enright for coming on the show yesterday, and Ken Allen. Two amazing guests were on the show. Ken blew my mind, talking about he had a gin that followed him. The only gin I know is the white gin bottle that I use on the weekends, okay? That's the only gin I know. So big shout out to Ken. Also, big shout out to Parapost Network. Thank you for having me on your network. I appreciate it. Big shout out to all the paranormal ghosts, investigators around the world. Christina, how you doing? Woo woo. So today we have a special guest coming on the show. Like I said, he's an actor, great guy. Looks like he could be a comedian as well. So his name is Baeu Thompson, and we're going to bring Baeu Thompson to the show. We're going to talk to him a little bit, find out what he's got going on, what he's been doing, and what he's doing at this present day. So with that being said, guys, please welcome the one and only, the two-time champion, Baeu Thompson, to the show.
Hey, how's it going, man? My poor name gets so abused. I got to tease you about something. It's B-E-A-U, not B-A-E-U.
Oh man. Okay, we'll fix that.
I got to tease you. Hey, I actually had a check written for Bean Thompson, B-E-A-N, and you know what? I finished it.
Oh boy. Okay, my mistake.
Oh, okay. No. You know what? Growing up with a name like that, you either can be hypersensitive about it or you have fun with it.
Right.
And I tell you what, people get upset about things all the time, and there's things to get upset about, and there's things not to.
Right.
And I'd rather have fun.
Oh yeah. Hey, this is a fun show. This is the Don Vic Show.
That's right. But I appreciate you inviting me, man. You got a great show. I didn't know about it until we started talking.
Okay.
And I thought the paranormal show was so fascinating.
Yeah. It's amazing that I'm not a paranormal show. I'm just a regular. Yeah. I'm just a regular, talk show where I bring actors, comedians, I bring all types of people to my show. The paranormal, they kind of do all paranormal stuff on their page, but because I'm a big fan of it, I reached out to a whole lot of them, and I have so many amazing paranormal friends that reach out to me, and I go on their show. They bring me on their show. We talk about stuff because I was always intrigued and interested in the paranormal world, and I don't know if you watched yesterday's show with Ken Allen.
Yes.
That guy is something else.
Well, see, I'm an actor, but my background, I wasn't always an actor. I've lived in 8 different countries. I have 6 degrees. And, so my fascination is all over the place. And one of my degrees is in ancient theology. So I always have an interest in those type of things. Acting, just like with the paranormal, any of these things, it's rooted in storytelling. Religions, ancient religions, modern religion. And it's always been told through music, songs, prayers, chants. And acting and scripts and all that, it's all forms of storytelling.
Right.
And that's all rooted in all of our cultures, every culture across the planet.
Right.
And acting is a way of expressing that.
Right. And you do a great job. I've seen some of your clips.
Now I'm usually a bad guy, which is
You did a good job. I can see you playing like one of those soprano bad guys or like a mob boss.
oh
You,
yeah.
you fit that. You fit that description. I tell you.
It is usually that's usually what I am. I'm the alcoholic, abusive, racist, dirty cop. That's but you know what? You can't have a good guy if you don't have a bad guy.
That's right.
And that's kind of the truth of the matter. And the thing is that I don't play the bad guy as the bad guy. To me, if I'm playing the villain, I'm thinking I'm the hero. See, that's how, because the villain doesn't think they're a villain. They think they're saving the world. I mean, even in history, all these crazy leaders think that they're saving the world. They're not.
They're not.
But they think they are.
They're not at all.
Yeah, and so that's how I come into playing the villain. Is that to him in his sick, warped mind, he thinks the hero's the villain, and that's how I portray them. But it's really weird because a lot of the other, us bad guys, we all know each other as actors. We know each other, and I swear, I think the bad guys I know are some of the nicest guys in real life.
Right.
They're the ones that work charities. And some of the good guys have been some of the biggest jerks.
Yeah. I say some of the bad guys. Sometimes it's just the way they grow up. The environment that they are, and maybe at the time when they were coming up, that's all they knew.
Sure.
So they got into whatever they got into. But in reality, they have good hearts. They humble people. They just had to go through that process in their life.
And you make choices.
Yeah, and sometimes it follows you for the rest of your life because people don't understand that people change, right? People change, and I say, and I'm talking about me because I used to be, running the streets. I used to do all the bad things, and I changed my life around. So I understand when we talking about bad guys this, bad guy gets, and they try to switch their lives over. I understand that, and most of the bad guys are good guys.
Well, you're going to do what you have to do to survive. See, I grew up poor. I mean, I lived on the streets.
Right.
I make no bones about it. I grew up not only Irish, but my father was an Irish immigrant to the States. So I grew up American and Irish in a British world, which is a double, that's a double bad. But no, I ran away from home. I lived on the streets and doing whatever I had to do to survive. And you're faced with choices. You make the choice that it's not about right.
Sorry, guys, it froze. It froze for a second. Apologize, guys, but thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see if we can get him back on it. Hold on a second. Let me remove him. See if I can get him back. Yeah, guys. So I apologize for that. That's the camera. Okay. Oh, here we go.
But no, it's not about right or wrong. It's about survival.
That's right. It's about survival.
And somebody that lives, in a comfortable world, they don't understand that.
Right.
And that's why I bring that into what I do as an actor. I will help. I have two agents, and I have one agent that doesn't understand why I do this little indie project over here that doesn't make any money, but I do it because, you know what? Who's to say that this director or this writer 2 years from now is not going to have a budget?
Yes, right.
Okay, so they deserve help. If we don't help each other, especially nowadays, the gatekeepers have changed. All the streaming services. If we small guys don't help each other, none of us is going to make it. It'll wind up being the spiders in the jar.
That's right.
And so I'm just a true believer that we have to help each other. And I have another agent that says, "Oh yeah, well, it's better than sitting at home. You know, you're acting, you're working, you're doing classes."
Right.
But I learned that from being in the streets. If me and the other guys and gals on the street didn't help each other, didn't watch each other's back, none of us would have survived.
That's right. Yeah. So true. So true. You know, I say that all the time here on my show. To all my friends that I do know in the paranormal field, actors, directors, that, you know, we need to help each other grow as, you know, as people and as you know, actors and directors that we are, to grow, you know, and this is why I created this platform, because I want to be able to give people an opportunity to show their talent and put their face in front of their name. You know what I mean? Because if I didn't bring you on my show today and people heard of your movie and they said, "Well, who's Mr. Thompson?" and we never seen him, we don't know who he looks like. Well, go to the Don Vick Show. You know who he is, what he looks like, and what he's all about. So I open doors for other people. I connect people with other directors, actors, other talk shows, so they can promote themselves. And, you know, I don't make money out of this because I'm not after the money. I'm out here to help the people.
I wouldn't know what to do with money if I had it. But you know, it's like you're a boxing fan. I mean, a boxer, if he didn't have a trainer, if he didn't have, you know, his cut man, if he didn't have those things, you know, it'd be a hard profession to excel in. We all need the helping hand. We all need, you know, that person, and you know, and a supportive fan, a supportive, you know, friend, somebody that understands, makes all the difference in the world.
Right.
You know, and you know, it's just like I try to share your stuff because, you know what, people down here in the South, they don't know.
Right.
But
you know,
but the more I travel, the more I see that we're more alike than different. The only reason I live in Texas is because I didn't realize when I married this lovely lady 33 years ago.
Wow.
That not only do Texans, but Mexican Texans do not ever leave this state.
Wow.
And now that we have a grandbaby, no, she's not ever leaving. And I jokingly say this, but it's not really a joke. We stay married because if she starts yelling at me in Spanish, I go, okay, well, there's that line. I'm going to stop now.
Yeah, you don't want to get them on the hot side.
It's like, okay, no, that's it. I think I'll quit now. So
yeah. So, you know, it's interesting, you know, the fact that, you know, you're from Texas and you did a lot of your movies, Western movies, out in Texas before you came out to the East.
Oh, actually, I work more. Yeah, actually, I work more out of Texas than I do in Texas.
Okay.
And all my clips and everything. Oh, that, if you notice, this is my natural accent.
Okay.
Which is kind of the Texas accent is a very infectious, but it's that Australian Irish accent that's my natural. So now I can give you Texas if you want Texas. We can go down south without a problem. I've learned to do a lot of the American accents. You need American neutral. That's not a problem either. So
I like that. That was good.
So it's just like I've got a feature coming up, and I got to work on it. But I'm playing a New York cop. So, but my funnest was I played a Cajun mob boss. You know, because down in the Cajuns, they got that whole different lazy accent. And so
that's good.
So I've learned. I tell people, if you want an accent, give me 2 weeks, and I'll learn how to do it.
That's awesome. Not everybody can do that. but that's great.
You know, because if I just did my normal accent, I wouldn't get the jobs.
Right, right.
So, you know, it is what it is. And you got to take advantage. I just finished the feature. I'm really proud of this one because I'm not a bad guy. It's called Jesse's Gift.
Yes, I was about to ask you about Jesse's Gift. You played Big John.
Yeah, a burned out rocker. And I got acute pharyngitis, not laryngitis, pharyngitis,
Mm.
which is in the voice box itself. And I was really, really hoarse. Well, I'm a burned out singer. Well, so, you know, Bing played it out perfectly. But everybody on that film, nobody had COVID. Okay. I mean, we're always sick. But everybody was sick. And we were fighting sickness. We were under the gun, but everybody took care of everybody else. It was just like a great big family.
That's awesome.
And the movie is about a singer. Well, me and the character, we were old friends. We used to be in a band together. And his son, who's very talented, was on the rocks, man. You know,
Yeah.
living on the street, and we're gonna get him back up. That's basically what the movie's about.
Okay.
And man, it was just. Everybody was pulling for everybody else, and I am so excited about this movie coming out. Not just because I'm not a bad guy, but because there's a lot of heart and soul in Jesse's Gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it's well filmed. Charles Holbrook was the cinematographer. Ken Merritt was the director. And man, you know, people work their butt off on this film, and that's when you get proud of the film. You know, it's not a big budget film or any of those things. And we were allowed to take and develop the characters, which, you know, is an actor's dream.
Right. Yeah, I understand. So take us back to when it all began for you. You know, when you started the films, like your first role. What was your first role like?
Well, it's kind of a weird. I started out originally as a punk writer on a TV series, and you know the one go get the coffee.
Yeah, get some water while you at it.
Yeah,
yeah, I get it.
Well, my wife had just gotten pregnant, and they removed the writers to LA, and I just couldn't make it. So I became a AP history teacher and a coach, and became an athletic director. And I have to explain this part to understand the acting. I was working 110 hours a week as a teacher and a coach. And I got tired of the politics, and so I quit coaching, and I was coming home every day at 4:30. Mm. And my wife used to be working 110 hours a week. After about 3 months, she said, "Get out of the house."
Get out.
So I did apply. Well, the play led to a student film, and an amazing director by the name of Gabriel Duran cast me as a mean, racist sheriff in a movie called Translations. You can still find it out there.
Okay.
And Gabriel Duran is an amazing, amazing director here in Texas. And I did that. It won some awards. And that was my first real film that I was able to act. I started taking acting classes with Michelle Condrey at React Studio. And this lady pulls no punches. If what you do in class is crap, she looks you straight in the eye and goes, "That was crap." Mm-hmm. And between the success of that film and her teaching me to not be afraid to push limits, and then the next thing I know, I have an agent. Mm. And now I have 2 agents. And Michelle Condrey still guides me and coaches me to the point to where that Translations film and her made me hunger to always push my limits. to the point to where my motto, my what I live by as an actor is I want to be the hardest working character actor with the widest range.
Mm.
I'm not afraid to try this. Hey, dude, I even played a aging, retiring drag queen
Okay.
because somebody asked me, and I said, "Yeah, I'll try it." 2 hours in makeup, but the story. I was playing this character, and the son that I abandoned 20 years ago shows up just before I go out to do a performance.
Wow.
And so what it's about is me facing him, so I wasn't about to turn that down.
Wow. So you had to face your son in the movie, face him as a drag queen. Like he didn't know he didn't know that you was a drag queen.
Yeah, he knew that I left, but he'd been hunting me down, and that's actually a play. And he had hunted me down, and he held a knife on the stage manager and basically broke into the dressing room to confront me just before I'm in makeup. I'm fixing to go out on stage, and he's confronting me why I abandoned him 20 years ago. And to make it even more of a twist, we were Mormon at the time. And so, but I jumped on that. I love pushing the limit. See, I'm not a good looking man. I'm not, this.
You're handsome. You're handsome.
But that's okay. I know what I look like. But it's like, I'm not afraid to push a limit. As an actor, if you're not pushing a limit, if it doesn't hurt or challenge you, then you're not growing.
Right.
And that's what it takes to grow. You look at an athlete, I don't care what you're talking about, a boxer, basketball, I don't care who. If in their training, they're not straining, they're not pushing that muscle, they're not growing. And it's the same with an actor.
Right.
And if there's not a passion, when you're talking about it and people can't see that, they can't feel it, then that's not real passion.
That's right.
And I'm not scared of challenge. I don't care who I'm working across from. If we're not pushing each other, then that's not growth.
Right. 100%. 100%. And that goes for everything.
Everything.
Not just acting, but real life.
Real life.
If you're not pushing for success, if you're not pushing to where your vision, you vision yourself to be, then it's not going to happen. You're just going to be going in circles.
Yeah. And the same. It's just like with your show.
Right.
If you don't constantly push to get better quality guests, if you're not building your show, if you're not getting the questions that you need to answer, you're not pushing the growth of your show, it's the same for you.
Exactly.
And if you're not loving your show and you're not loving what you're doing, then you're not growing. I mean, it's true for all of us. Your family, if your family's not first in your heart, your family's not going to grow.
That's right. That's so true. That is so true.
I love my family. I know you love your family. We got to know each other.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I always say, I put God in my family first always, because without his blessings, I wouldn't have a family. Without his blessings, I wouldn't have the show. And my effort to take it to where it is today. I remember when I first started, I see the growth. Like I couldn't see the growth because I'm the one doing the show. But the outsiders, the one that are looking in, would say to me, "Oh wow, Vic, your show's doing great. I remember when you first started, you were just doing local artists from the neighborhood. Now you got directors, actors, Hollywood actors on your show. You're taking pictures with celebrities. You've grown." And it took me a minute to sit back and gasp all that and say, you know what? I am growing and I'm proud of myself. Is it where I want to be? No. But am I happy that I'm here? Yes, of course, because I'm meeting amazing people like yourself, Sandy Johnson, which is played in Halloween, She played Michael Myers' sister in the first 1978. Sandy Johnson. She's a great actress. She was on the show, and I had several more other actors that been on my show that I'm proud of. Karen. I had Karen Coben Pacino, which was Al's Pacino's father's wife, on my show, and I got to meet her. I got to meet her in person in LA at a premiere where I met Doug Jones as well. He played in Star Trek. And we had dinner and stuff. I met her husband Bill that played in Reels of Cowboys, with Clint Eastwood and all these other amazing actors. So I seen the growth.
Yeah.
Now, my goal is, Thompson, is to actually take this platform to a bigger platform, like an Oprah show, Oprah Winfrey, or any the Saturday Night Live show, a show like that. That's my goal with my show.
Yeah, and you got to have goals.
Yeah.
There's a ancient prayer or affirmation, whatever you want to call it, but I try to say it every day, is give me the courage to stay true to my heart, and give me allow me to do what I was born to do and to share my gift with the world. If I can do that each and every day, then I'm going to be a step closer to do what I was meant to do. You try. Every day's a step. Every day is a step closer. And that's all we can do. But you got to have a goal. You got to have something to go forward to. Otherwise, you're sliding back. And people will push you back. I always told my students. I always tell my students, if you had a perfect ideal, somebody would hate it because it was a perfect ideal.
Yeah, it's facts, and that happens all the way around the world.
Sure. And the thing is, if you're not doing what you love, then that's when it hurts. But you know what? There's people, and especially I always tell people, I'm in the world of double rejection, acting and writing. So it can't matter to me because I get rejected twice.
Hey, welcome to my world.
But here's the thing. I do an audition and I forget about it. And I don't let the age, I don't let any of those things bother me. I will send in for an audition based on the character. If the character intrigues me, I'm sending it in. The worst I can do is say no.
That's right.
It's like somebody's going to knock on the door and hit me in the head with a bat because they didn't like the audition.
Right.
But it's so like this is that the worst that anybody can say to us, you, me, or anything else, is no.
That's right.
But it's a guaranteed no if you don't try.
That's right. And you wouldn't know until you try how far you can get, And the thing I love about acting is that there is no age limit.
No.
Acting, you can play older part, say 70, 80-year-old, you can still play it, so
well, I normally play 40 to 50-year-old characters. That's what I normally play. And I still do the action guys. I mean, it's like this character I'm fixing to start playing. Man, I've got 2 or 3 fight scenes coming up, and they're going to be fun to shoot. The next day, I'm not going to be happy, but it's going to be the day we shoot it. But the next day, I will be going, why am I doing this?
Run that by me again.
Well, I can't talk too much about it, but I got a project I'm working on, and so I'm taking classes to get in shape and everything. Right. And it's over in England, and one of the gentlemen, the British, they're amazing, but he looked over at me and he was saying, now, we don't need you to be a superhero, but we don't need Father Christmas either. So,
Ooh, shoot.
it's like, okay, thank you, you son of a gun.
what has been, because I can already see, what has been one of your funniest moments in acting?
I went to an audition and before the COVID hit and the reader stuttered.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, I know. But one of the funnest things, I went to an audition and I knew the director. And I was playing a really, really bad guy. And the director said, hey, Bo, if you scare the reader, you got the part. And I said, really? I got a green light. He said, yeah, green light. Yeah. I said, okay. So I'm sitting there reading the part. And I sat there and I start creeping closer and closer to the reader. And she said a little old card table, and I take that table and I throw it across the room. And she left.
Wow.
And he looked over and said, oh, you got the part. Don't give me a green light.
Oh my goodness. How easy was that to get the part?
Well, but no, I mean, because I'm going to have fun.
Right.
You know, but I've only cracked up twice on set. I really pride myself on that. And we were working at Global Park, the Rangers baseball stadium. Mm-hmm. And Chase and Lane said, how loud can you get? And I'm going, I was a coach for 30 years and I didn't use a whistle. So there's these maintenance workers. We're working on breakers, and there's these maintenance workers down on the field on the other side. And I went, okay. Hey! And they all turned around and looked up. He said, okay. And so I'm sitting there doing my line, and the actress I'm working with, she's very good actress. She's very solid, and she starts creeping her ear like this. As I'm doing my line and yelling and screaming. And I couldn't help it. She's so stoic, so serious. And I lost it. I couldn't. But yeah, I mean, I'm always happy. You gotta have fun. You know, even as serious, I'm just one of those guys. I admire the old actors. You know, they could sit there and play poker and then go get on set and boom, be in character. Mm. And I work so hard on that. I break down the character. I get to know the character so well that when it's time, I can be the character. Mm. You know, I study and study and study. The last thing I do is remember lines. I break down the character. I get to know I know what, in my mind, I know what the character is going to eat for breakfast. I know what they like, dislike. I know that character. Mm. And it makes memorizing the lines easier.
Right. Have you ever, I was going to ask you, that's my next question. Have you ever got on set where you forgot a line and just kept going?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm terrible at comedy. I am not a comedic actor at all. But okay. I worked with Zinger's Comedy Club in Arlington because they did like Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I did it because I know the importance of improv. And so I was with them for 2 or 3 years. And so it gave me invaluable skills that, yeah, I'm going to go right on because I know what this character would do in the situation.
Right.
And I just keep right on trucking till somebody says cut. And sometimes it actually stays in the film, but I'm not breaking character.
Right, right.
I'm riding that horse until it goes off the cliff.
Oh.
I don't know where we're going, but by God, we're staying on that horse.
I'm on the saddle till the right break.
Well, I don't know what the bloody hell we're going to do, but let's go.
Let's go. Let's do this. That's awesome. So we know you did the Jesse Jesse Gift, where you play Big John. You also play in an astronaut scene. You did an astronaut scene.
Yeah, we did like a documentary, and what it was a kind of a science fiction Twilight Zone thing, and these aliens had captured, and I was really a prisoner, but they were studying how I kept reliving this, and so they wanted the character to play it as though I was actually reliving this. And they were able to do special effects and make me look like a young astronaut and everything else. And that was actually a graduate film from the University of Texas at Arlington.
Mm.
That was cool because of how I'd never really worked with a green screen before. And so that was pretty cool.
Oh, so you had a green screen behind you.
Right.
Okay, so with the green screen, they can add anything they want.
Well, they had some practical effects, but they also had a green screen.
Oh, okay.
So that was cool. And just for Jesse's Gift, we did All the Beautiful Things, which I was also a good guy. So
okay, but you also did Asylum.
Yes, actually, it was originally called Fish Cakes, and that was where I was locked up in an asylum because I was crazy. And for some reason, I kept thinking that the pills they were trying to give me were fish cakes.
Oh my goodness.
And that was fun. But again, I was not a good guy. But yeah, that was a fun character to play because to me, the world was normal. I mean, to me, that was, why are you doing this to me? But that's really a crazy person's perspective.
Right. So let me ask you this. What do you think about the world today?
As a historian, so much of this has come up before. We don't seem to learn our lessons as human beings. We get trapped in ideologies, and it doesn't matter what the ideology is, right, left, or whatever. And we get so entrenched in an ideology that we refuse, and it is a refusal to see the compromise. Unfortunately for us, the people living day to day, we really live in the middle. 90% of us live in the middle. We're not either right or left. I mean, when we go to work, we're trying to feed our family. We're trying to do these things. But leaders like Putin and leaders, these people have never gone away, and they're not ever going to go away. There's this deal called a power vacuum. When you squash one, again, doesn't matter where, that power vacuum is immediately filled.
Right.
Because we as a human race, not America, not any country. I mean, just we've abandoned common sense.
Oh, in a big way.
It's all of our fault. It's all of our fault.
Yeah, of course.
Because in our urgency to provide everything for our children, we have also forgotten to teach them common sense.
Mm-hmm.
You watch anybody, they will give them this electronic device to entertain them instead of holding them on their lap and reading to them. And it's a little thing. Yeah, it's an absolute little thing. We have become so busy, we'll let an electronic device raise our children instead of us.
That's right.
Taking the time and reading them a story. And honestly, the electronic device will teach them to read, but it won't teach them the human interaction.
Right.
And now if we sat down and it's like, do you remember when they used to have the story games, where you actually had to read what to do before your character did it?
Yeah.
I would sit with my kids and we would read that together. Now, if they were doing that, you'd still get that human interaction. But we don't interact with our kids as much. And if I get on soap opera, just knock me off, Don. See, our educational system in the United States was created in the 1800s during the Industrial Revolution.
Right.
Because it was created to make factory workers. That's why we have the bells. That's why we have all that, because that's how the factory was working.
Right.
And they just needed enough education so they didn't kill themselves in the factory.
Mm.
We never changed from that. I mean, we still have that today instead of having a modern educational system for what we do today.
Right.
And I fought that for 30 years. So like in my classroom, I told them to take the book, put it where they could find it at the end of the year, and said, because we're not using the book. We used actual documents. When we got to the civil rights movement, they were required to go interview somebody who marched in the civil rights. When we got to Vietnam, they had to go interview a Vietnam vet. We had what's called a press conference where they couldn't use notes. Their group would line up, no group grades. You got a grade on how you did. And so they would, in world history, they would be colonizing a planet, and one person would be in charge of medical, one in charge. They each had an assignment. And anybody from any class could be the press. Parents could come up, former students could come up, teachers, anybody could be the press. They had to answer questions like a press conference.
Right.
And so they know what a press conference is. Whatever news you watch is funded by their advertisers. And so you only get clips, edited clips. That way they knew what a real press conference is like. If it was my human geography, then they got a random political party, completely random, in a real country.
Mm.
So they had to convince the press why they should control it. And
Wow.
so they had the same press conference. So again, practical knowledge so that they would have to survive that press conference on their own. And so now what's a job interview after that? What's the real world? And so I tried to teach outside the classroom. I tried to give them something they could use outside the classroom.
Right.
And so that's what I fought for. Education isn't in the classroom. The classroom is supposed to be the roots, and the education is supposed to take place outside the classroom.
Right.
And so that's how I taught my classes. And when the Black Lives Matter movement and all these things started taking place, I knew I did right because I had my former students call me. I got it. I understand. Okay. I know what's going on. I understand this. I understand that.
Right.
And so, but that's the way I taught. And after 30 years, I was tired of fighting it.
Mm.
So I went to my other passion, acting and writing.
So you're an actor. Do you direct, produce, write?
I'm fixing to start directing. I have a wonderful writing partner, Becca Spencer. She's amazingly a talented young lady. And we started Fearless Arvo Productions. And really what we're trying to do is make a script warehouse where if you have a script and you can't really get it, we'll write it for you. But we're both pretty dark writers. She's amazing, but we're both pretty dark writers. And
That's okay. I like dark writing.
And but not horror, psychological. I mean, we go into the and so she wrote this wonderful script, and she said, "Well, there's only one person who can direct it." I said, "Well, who? We'll talk to them." She said, "You."
You was like, huh? Who? What? Me?
So after I get back from Virginia, I'm going to direct her film. And she said, "Well, since you direct that, you can direct this other short that you wrote." And I went, "Well, what?" And so I'm fixing to direct my first two films.
Awesome.
But Becca is working on this. We just finished a pilot series called Justice for All,
Okay.
which is predominantly female-driven, about a detective, a police agency that in a world where prayer works if you believe, no matter what your religion. and all of our stuff's copyrighted, so I'm not too worried about talking about it. And then, but she's working on a couple of things. Here's the thing, and this, and I'm going to say it this way because for some reason it's important nowadays. But we try to write as diversified as possible because to us, we don't even decide until we've already written the characters. And then it's like, oh, okay, we got to assign gender and classification. We really don't care. And that's kind of unusual because if you look at us, we're the oddest couple that you have ever seen. Because no, here I am, the old white guy, and here she's this young yoga black woman who is, I mean, I am the old falling apart white guy, and she gets along with my wife, so I'm outnumbered constantly,
all the time.
I
get it.
But yeah, but you just see, y'all see us when we meet. We'll go meet in a restaurant, and she comes in just almost like the world and the universe is one, and I'm over here. Yeah. and so we are the odd couple. But when we sit down and write together, it's amazing what we produce. And the short that we're working on, that we're fixing, that I'm directing. While I was gone filming, she said I rewrote the script, and I went, "What? Well, we just worked out the storyboard. We just sit on and you rewrote it." She said, "Yeah, but you said something," and I went,
"It's just one little thing you might say, change the whole script."
And I said, "Look, I'm always saying something. I have a big mouth." And she handed me the rewrite, and I went, "Oh my God, wow." And it was absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't excited about directing it, but now I want to. Okay. We got this amazing cinematographer, Carissa Lynch, that she has an eye, but I know nothing about directing. I know what I want the actors to do. I know what I want to see.
Right.
They ask me questions. Color palette? What?
What? You want a palette? Hey, bring me in a palette.
Yeah. Well, what's the color tones that you want? Color.
Blue, red, orange. I don't know.
I'm in trouble. And the thing is, Becca knows. I mean, Becca's produced and done all these things before. So this is really entertainment for her. She could answer all those questions. She's just like, watch him squirm. But I'm excited about it because, again, it's like we were talking about earlier. You have to push limits.
Right, definitely.
Grow. And she's done such a fantastic job with the script. Becca's going to play one of the characters. Jennifer Clark is going to play the other character. And they're both so freaking powerful. And the story is Lotus. And what it's about is a female drug dealer who's also a pedophile.
What? She what?
It's a female drug dealer who is a pedophile, and she is extorting one of her druggies for the daughter.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
that would be a good film. So what do you guys do for casting call? Like, what type of actors are you guys looking for if you guys cast calls?
Well,
what type of,
we actually, because we know Becca is going to play one of the characters. She's going to play the drug addict. Jennifer, we know from acting class, and she normally doesn't play roles like this. But she's also a part of that React Studio with Michelle Condry. And we're all taught you have to push limits.
Right.
And she's always kind of played the hothead, or she's played the mom, and she's going, I'll do it. When we were talking about it, she said, I'll do it. And we all kind of went, you will? But she is such a strong actress. There's no doubt she can do it.
Amazing.
And we've got, when we're talking to do, and if this young lady wants to, then we'll have an open casting call for that. But we got to have somebody mature. There's nothing, there's no nudity. There's none of these things.
Right.
But it is a powerful storyline. And because these things happen, I mean, we look at the darker side of the world, and these are things that happen. And we're not going to shy away from talking about it.
Right. You know, and I'm glad you're doing that, because, you know, we need more of these powerful movies to come out, you know, that have a true story behind it. Because when I was growing up, I was watching all types of movies, and some I can relate to, some I can't. But nowadays, with the films that people, producers and directors are bringing up, man, I can relate to it. You know, some of them just remind me of my life, you know, or things that I've been through, or some friend of mine's been through. And, you know, domestic violence is a big issue. Violence is a big issue all over the world. You know, the gun violence, especially like in Chicago, there's a lot of kids killing each other. So when I see films like that, powerful films that come out like that, and they talk about these things that are happening in our community and nothing's being done about it, my eyes are all in, you know.
Well, and the thing is, what we want to do is take one snippet and show how human trafficking can work and how it does work.
Yes.
You know, because there's a whole big picture to it, and not every sex worker is human trafficked, but at the same time, there are people who are tricked into it.
Right.
And money, like everything in our society, money drives.
Yeah.
It's not about legal money or illegal money, but when you don't have money and you want to propel yourself up, let's be honest, that's the gas. Money's the gas to drive people up.
That's right.
And so we're just kind of taking a hard look at it in a short film. No frills. It's just like, look, this is a peek at somebody's life that you have no clue about.
Right. And just because we don't see it happening doesn't mean it don't exist. Because human trafficking is big business, and it's been going on for years.
Oh, for centuries.
For centuries. The same as organs, human organ trafficking.
Sure.
Same thing. Things that we don't talk about at our dinner table, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening as we sitting there eating a good steak, you know.
Yeah. And the second film I'm directing is one I wrote. It's about a man who has had a stroke, and his body is falling apart, but his mind is clear. And there's an interracial marriage, and they have a daughter. Becca's going to play the daughter.
Okay.
Cortina Jackson, that's playing the wife. John Fennessy is playing the husband, and he can't stand it anymore. He's got a hand, his left hand is so weak, he couldn't pick up a jar of soup, a can of soup.
Wow.
And his right hand shakes so bad. And what it is the day that he's gotten a hold of the gun, and he's going to commit suicide, but he can't load it. You know, he's shaking too bad. And everybody's kind of blowing him off. See, what happens with stroke patients is nobody will look them in the eye. Nobody will take them seriously. And he is so aware of what's going on. And so we're going to take a snippet of that life, that moment, because it's part of a feature. And so what we're hoping is to take the short and film a feature from that. Again, pretty dark, but it's about a mother and daughter who deal with a father that is dealing with a loss of his life and control of his life. So that's the two things I'm directing. Gee.
Hey, that's awesome. What has been your biggest challenges in front of a camera?
To not be afraid to let go. I have a dark past, living hard, doing, a rough life. And you have to touch those areas of your life to really bring a character to life, and to do it consistently and honestly and make the character real and do it every time.
Wow. How many takes does it take? How many takes do they take on you when you're filming? 2, 3 takes?
I try to never have to do more than 3 takes on anything. I will say this: the proudest moment was in Jesse's Gift. Charles Holbrook was the cinematographer, amazing cinematographer. When we did a scene, and I don't want to give anything away, but I don't even remember the scene. If I do my job, I don't remember what the scene was. And,
I like that, Charles.
And all I know was I was really snot, tears, everything. And I said, give me a second and I'll do it again. And he looked at me and says, man, I'm not having you do that again. I got everything I need and I'm not putting you through that. And so whatever the hell it was, I guess it was good enough. Okay. But that's what I go for. I want it so real that everybody goes, yeah, I believe that.
Okay. What is one of the hardest things for you to do as an actor? Would it be the crying? Would it be remembering the lines? What do you find harder to do for you as an actor? If they say, hey, Thomas, we need you to cry right now, we need it to look real.
Honestly, I think the hardest thing in the world for me is patience.
Oh man, we know that when you're waiting, when you're filming and you're doing, say, a background, you could be there all damn day before they call you.
I'm not the hurry up and wait. If you got a big scene, the timing of the emotion and everything, it's the waiting.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll do whatever you ask. But it's, oh my God, the waiting.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, it's and I understand it's a process. But that's the hardest thing for me as an actor. I'll do whatever you ask. Sometimes it takes me time to prepare.
Yeah.
But oh damn, the waiting. Oh God.
That's why you have to be the own director so you can move at your pace. Let's go.
You know what I'm asking? They got to be off book. And our goal is 3 takes and move on.
Okay.
We're not wasting people's time. And there's no cast over here, crew over here. We are a team.
That's right.
There's no separation between the talent and the crew.
Right.
We're going to eat together. We're going to be together. No, that crap's not happening.
Right. A lot of companies work like that, and I just never got that part. Like when I did my first film, Don Hazel the Gangster, I played a gangster, a motorcycle gangster, and I had my crew, my bikers, and we worked as a team.
That's right.
The camera, the crew, we was all there talking about it and giving each other's ideas, because a lot of it was prov, right? And so we sat there and said, okay, we're going to shoot the next film. And we'll sit there with the director, Mr. Thompson, which passed away. And we'll sit there and we'll say, he'll say what he wants. And then I'll say, well, how about if we try it like this? He'll say, okay, we'll try it that way and see how it looks. If not, then we'll try it my way. So it made me comfortable to be able to play my part, because, the director's like, okay, we're going to try this and we're going to try that. And whichever one falls in place, that's what we're going to ride with.
Well, one of the rules in my contract is nobody on set will be treated with disrespect, otherwise you're gone. And that's from the PA to whomever.
Right.
Nobody is treated with disrespect. I will not tolerate that.
No. That's there's no room for that. There's no room for disrespect. You know,
well, I was that way as a coach. You know, I benched one of my star players because he talked back. They was picking on a freshman, and I said, "Sit your butt down."
Right. Yeah, you know, I seen that happen in some shoots where some of the actors have been there the longest, and here comes the new guy and picking on him or making him feel uncomfortable. So when it's time for him to shoot, he's nervous. The lines don't come out right, and they're there laughing at him. And I don't think that's professional at all. And when I see stuff like that, I don't even want to be part of that team. I just, you know what? I don't want to work with you guys.
Here's the truth: the actor's not a show animal to entertain, and the crew's not slaves. We're there as a team because none of us get anything for our demo. None of us get anything if it doesn't come off right. We're all working for the same goal. Why in the world are we all separate?
That's right. I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. And not that they are like that. You know, there's some.
I've been on sets where everybody was a team. And you know what? That's been some of the Jesse's gift.
Yeah.
You know, man, it works so much better.
Right. Yeah. And that's the team you want to work with.
That's right. And that's what I want to be a part of.
Right. Exactly. Family. You got to treat your partners like family, you know, and feel like my brothers and my sisters, and be able that when they say, okay, Thompson, it's your turn, you're gonna go up there confident that your peers got your back, and you know, and they're making you feel comfortable so that you can perform correctly.
That's right.
You know,
absolutely.
That plays a big game in actors, and a lot of people don't understand that you know, if you're an actor and you're going to make a shoot and your peers are huddling up and like pointing their finger at like, well, watch them screw up, or you know, laughing. That doesn't make.
But when somebody wants to be there, they're going to work harder. You're going to get more out of people who want to be there and be a part of it. You just elevated your whole production.
Right.
You know, absolutely.
Right. What do you think about the paranormal?
You know, I've been on. See, I'm the first guy that's going to get killed because I got a friend who does the paranormal, and I've gone with him. And there's a noise. I'm the one going to the noise, and he's doing, dude, what are you doing? Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of things, and I know there's more to our world than what we see, but I just haven't seen anything to convince me. You follow?
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, and so if I hear something or see something, I'm gonna go look.
Right.
You know, I'm the guy.
You're like me, the nosy guy. Oh, something fell. I want to walk to it instead of running from it. You want to walk to it.
I'm the first one dead in the horror movie. I can see you. So it's like with, say, aliens. You know, I statistically, there's got to be aliens. I just don't know why the hell they would come here. You know?
Right.
But yeah, there's got to be more to the world than what we see. I just haven't seen anything to make me go, oh, okay, I got it now.
Right. Well, you know,
I like what Linda Judd just said. I just saw that.
What?
She said, are there more actor directors in the field? I wish there were.
Yeah. Right, Linda. So, you know, we're definitely not the only planet in this whole universe and galaxy. There's plenty of planets all over the galaxy that we can't even reach or see with the naked eye. Oh, yeah. So I truly believe there's other beings, aliens or whatever, or identity, whatever we want to call it, out there. And I believe they were here at one time, but when we started polluting the air and doing certain things, they probably say, you know what, we ain't going down into them crazy Americans.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like, unless we're a sideshow.
Yeah, for real, right?
Come buy your tickets and see what the Earthlings are going to do now.
I know, yeah, because definitely the paranormal world is interesting. I've seen Enlightened Souls Paranormal, great friend of mine, just did an episode where they caught an identity walking by as they were recording. You can see like the shadow walking by as they were recording.
Yeah.
So you do see certain things, identities, as they doing investigations. And now they got I don't know if you know about the voice box where they
Oh, yeah, that's
okay,
cool.
so they can speak to you. So definitely there is another side.
Well, my friend says I'm a paranormal mute.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. Well, friends like that, who needs enemies, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we've been friends for so long. He's like, yeah, you're hopeless. He just tells me I'm hopeless and goes on.
She said, I read that a lot of aliens look like humans.
Well, maybe that explains a lot about me. Or maybe I'm an alien. I just didn't know.
Well, it's funny you said that because we are aliens, but we're in the human forms.
There you go.
Other aliens come in a different form, So to the aliens, we are aliens to them, and they are aliens to us.
Well, that's like people tell me all the time. They say, I love your accent. And I tell them, I don't have an accent. You go.
So, yes, Linda, there's, with the government today and all the stuff that they're doing and, and all the secrets that they got in NASA, we don't know what they have in those underground places. I know that in 1954, there was a UFO that landed in Mexico somewhere, and they found 3 little aliens inside the craft. I believe 2 were dead and 1 was still alive. And then they checked the UFO and inside, and it was like maybe people 3 feet can fit inside, but it had like it was circle and it had like a top and a bottom. I guess the driver, 2 drivers up and 1 down. However, there was using the UFO, but they kept that secret because in 1954 we didn't have cameras to fake it.
Well, the Navy just released a lot of tapes of what their fighters had picked up as unidentified flying objects. What fascinates me, of course, I'm a historian, is you go to the Aborigines in Australia, they have drawings of men in spacesuits that date back, 40,000 years.
Wow.
So, the thing is that statistically, I mean, let's not even talk about theories or anything else. Just look at mathematical facts that there are planets that are, that have atmosphere that can sustain life.
That's right.
So, I mean, even just skip the theoretical, just if you look at the factual, and some of those planets are way older than.
Sorry, guys, it froze. Hold on a second. Let me see if I take them off. I can bring them back. So yeah, guys, this is amazing. We do have all types of. Hi, Liz. Well, it froze. I'm trying. Okay, here we go.
All right, see, hey, the government's already after us. All right,
here we are. Yeah, it be freezing. I don't know what's going on. I think the aliens are freezing, or Liz is freezing. The ghosts are freezing the thing.
But the thing is, the world, the universe is a fascinating place. And I think it's a huge failure on our part if we don't continue to look at it and study it with an open mind. When we start trying to apply our views to other things that we don't understand, is when we mess up. You got to take it neutral.
Right.
Because it's if it was by our view, we'd instantly understand it.
Right.
That's
right.
So if it's supernatural, if it's a ghost, a spirit, or whatever, then it's going to be on their terms, on their understanding, their physics, if you will. Same with the aliens or whatever. They're going by a different standard than ours. And when we try to apply our standard, it's just like when you look in history, we go, wow, that was crazy. They did it. It wasn't crazy to them.
That's right.
That made perfect sense to them.
That's right.
Now we look at it and go, well, that was absolutely insane. Not to them.
That's right.
You know, and it's funny how things come around. You know, well, what they used leeches to, well, guess what they use in plastic surgery? Oh, leeches.
That's right. That's right.
It's all crazy. But you got to do things with an open mind. If you approach things from a set view, especially if you don't understand it, you're not ever going to understand it.
Right.
I know just enough to know that I don't know anything.
All I know is a love life. Love life.
You know, and you can't have enough friends. And I mean friends. I don't mean people that claim to be.
Right.
You know, you've got to have people around you that you know that if you got a flat tire at 2 a.m. and it's pouring down rain, that they're going to come get you.
Right.
Hey, Liz.
That's why I love the 80s, because the 80s, you know, it seemed, even though the 80s to me was like my best time in the 90s, because I felt like the whole neighborhood where I was living in or moved to, everyone was about the people. Everybody helped each other. If you know, if there was a homeless guy on the street, you can see, you know, our parents be like, hey, go take him some food or go take him some clothes, you know, help him out. I seen a lot of that when I was growing up. I barely seen homeless people, but now it's like crazy. Nobody really cares about, you know, the person. If you're doing bad, that's your fault. Nobody wants to give you a hand. There's certain people that do care.
Yeah, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it was such a great time because, you know, especially in the late 70s, early 80s, you could make friends instantly. I mean, friends. You could sit around with somebody, and in 15, 20 minutes, you could be having dinner or going on a trip with somebody and not feel like they're going to kill you or anything else. It was
right.
Like, I don't know how many times people we didn't know more than an hour piling into a car and taking a trip somewhere.
That's right.
I remember backpacking all across Europe and not thinking twice about it. You know,
yeah.
You didn't cross the Iron Curtain, but but I do. When we were living in Hong Kong, this is how crazy. I was such a good child. I got sent to military school. No, we were living in Hong Kong, and me and my friend, we decided we were going to throw rocks at the Chinese guards because it's a 45-minute train ride. And we got over. This is what got me sent to military school. We got over there and we realized those Chinese guards would really shoot you.
Okay.
We decided, okay, we're not going to do this. Now, in our tiny minds, we're walking back. We didn't want to wait for the train. We saw these horses, and we said it's only theft if you take them off the property.
Right. Yeah.
Well, horses belong to the Chinese embassy.
Oh my God.
My father, 3 weeks before that, had just got promoted in the U.S. Navy. Needless to say, we got caught.
Oh, wow.
We got back home. I got sent to my mother in Australia. And so they said, I went to the judge. The judge says, you can go to this institution with criminals, people who murder and rob, or you can go to this institution, which was the military. And so,
military.
But no, that was the type of child I was.
Okay.
I was a fighter. You know,
Right.
that was my solution for everything.
Mm,
But bad choices.
right. And we all do, and we all have those moments where we
But
make our bad choices.
I had fun.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Uh, but we would, whenever my father went out to sea, I would live with my grandmother. Whenever he could pull into port, I'd live wherever the hell he
Yeah.
was pulling into port.
Right.
Just bounced around all over the place.
Yeah, but it must have been good for you to see, different sites, different parts of the world. Some people can't even say, I can't even say that. I've been to some parts, but I ain't been nowhere like out countries like that.
Well, I've lived in 8 different countries. I've probably visited another dozen or so. And but you know what? We're all alike. I mean,
That's
we
right.
speak different languages. We have different customs. We argue about religion and politics. But you know what? Politicians in every country is the same. They'll lie, cheat, do whatever they can to get elected
That's
uh,
right.
or take over.
That's right.
Every religion thinks they're the only religion in existence, and they're absolutely right. But ultimately, everybody's trying to feed their family. They're trying to take care of their family. You got crooks and criminals in every
And all forms and shapes.
and but you at every single place you got people that will help you, feed you. You got people that we're really not that damn different. You
No,
know,
we're not. We're not.
we're really not. And you really will find more good people than bad. It's just that we don't publicize the good.
Right. And we don't talk like we used to because now we got these devices where everybody's walking around looking at their hand. Nobody sits by. Like I went on a bus, right? I went on a bus because my car was down. So I had to get on a bus to go downtown. And I remember back in the 80s when I got on the bus, man, you had to walk in with headphones because everybody was talking, hey man, you look nice today. I like your shoes. Yo, where you get that hat from? Yo, your glasses are so dope. Now you get on a bus and you can drop a grenade in there and nobody listens, nobody looks at it, and nobody can hear it because everybody's like this. So there's no communication.
Well, I was listening to somebody talking the other day, and they were talking about how now you can get a signal in the subways in New York, and the subway stopped, and nobody batted an eye because they're all on their phones.
That's right.
Nobody would have panicked until the batteries went dead on their phone.
That's right.
Personally, I hate the damn things, and not for any great social. They're just annoying the hell out of me.
Yeah.
It's like I can't escape the thing. And now we're so dependent upon them because of work and everything else. But yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I like my computer more for my games than
Yeah.
but I have to work.
Right. Right.
But no, we the thing is, but there is advantage. Like I would not have gotten to meet you, Don, if it wasn't for it.
That's right. And likewise, because I'm always into the media looking for talent, actors, and people to bring on my show. And I thank for it because I won't be able to be flying around trying to meet people and bring them on my show. So this does help, me, helps my show make it easier for me. That way I can just do that from my house or from my car and just, and most of my guests are because I changed it, right? Before I used to go online and ask people. Now what I do is I get a lot of recommendations from people that have been on my show that recommend someone to come on my show.
Yeah.
Because you have trollers, you have people that come on your page that just want to do the wrong thing on your page, reach out to your friends without you knowing, and then something happens and they're like, hey Thomas, what happened? Who's this guy? You be like, who are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I try to protect my guests and my friends on my page. So
it's just like this Liz. She just said she sent it out to Scotland. That's great. By the way, I would love to work in Scotland or London.
yeah.
No, and it's good because here's the thing: our world is shrinking. It really is, and it's like I put on my webpage that now I work internationally because I did. I just did a play couple of years ago in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Wow.
You know, and that was an incredible experience. Oh my gosh! At the end of every play, everybody stood up and shook our hands and thanked us for entertaining them. Well, they thanked the good guy, me. They were, I'll give you a laugh, okay? Because I'm playing the devil.
Oh Jesus!
I know, and they let me have free reign, and so I entered from the back of the theater, which they just don't do over there, you know.
Right.
And so I come in and I'm in a cowl, you know, and this face, you know, and I put my hand on this lady's shoulder and I can feel her trembling.
Wow.
She's just shaking. And they didn't care what I did as long as I got on stage on time. And there's this lady, she's got a baby over there, and I'm looking at her going, give me the baby.
Oh my God.
You know, and so I have this half of the theater just terrified. And I get there, and the first thing I do is I take the good guy and I throw him. Now, I've worked with Clay Jones before, so he knows what I'm going to do.
Right.
So I take him and I throw him across the stage and everything, and they're gasping because I've already scared this half of the audience. So anyway, in the end, they're coming on, they're shaking their hands, and I'm standing right next to Clay. So then they're shaking it, and then they look at me. And this one lady, her English isn't very good, and she has just got tears in her eyes, and she looks at me and she goes, I don't want you in my bedroom tonight. Talk about nightmares, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, she wouldn't shake my hand.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
and the lady with the baby, she was shaking Clay's hand, you know, and you know, let him touch the baby, and then she took a wide berth around. But what got me the best compliment was this one person that says, thank you for making me hate you so much. That was a good job. but you know, it's that was such a great trip, and I've never been treated so wonderfully. The people were so fantastic. We were invited into people's homes, and we did 2 or 3 of our shows in some of the poorest townships there, because that was part of it, was to bring entertainment to the more impoverished regions.
And this is in Africa.
You're right. Yeah, on the outskirts of Johannesburg.
Okay, and you know what's funny? Nigeria is one of my biggest followers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Africa, they follow me big time. Nigeria's, you know, they're the #1 followers.
Yeah. Well, say I lived in Morocco, and I was in Madagascar for 6 months. So I was in Rhodesia when I was serving with the United Nations. I was in Rhodesia the year it became Zimbabwe. So I've been to Africa several times. I love that. See, that's the most misunderstood continent.
Mm-hmm.
It is so misunderstood, especially here in the States.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, the first memory I have of it was I was getting up. It was my second day there, and I got up, and I was in the Kalahari, and you don't realize, you know, you get up at dawn, and there's this golden, wonderful hue, and you're seeing animals it's not in the zoo. I mean, it's not, and it's so peaceful, and it's so amazing. And we walked into a village the same day, and they were struggling. And this little bitty girl, I guess she was probably 7, and she had this dirty, nasty rice ball. And she came up to me and broke it in half to share
Oh my God.
was her only meal of the day.
Oh my goodness.
You tell me someplace else on the planet that somebody would do that.
Mm-mm.
And and you don't want to, and so what I did is I traded her some of my food for hers, because but I wasn't going to turn down. And and yes, I ate that nasty, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there, and we shared a meal together. But no, that's some of the most giving and wonderful
People.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, and completely misunderstood people. But yeah, I try to tell my students the two places that will change you for life if you go and live there is in the remote parts of Africa and India.
Mm,
And not live there and be there and not be changed.
mm.
Because those are people living as people.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
uh, it's astonishing because that's people at their purest.
Right.
They're living off the land. They're living in conjunction with Mother Earth.
That's right. And I can understand that because when I was younger, we lived off the land in my country, in Puerto Rico when I was young. I mean, I was born here in the United States, but I used to travel back and forth when I was young. My parents had a property way up in the mountains, where the only way you can get up to our house was by horse. And sometimes the horse couldn't get up there because when it rained, it got so muddy that they would be slipping, and some of them will fall over because we didn't have rails to hold cars or anything to fall off the cliffs. So sometimes, you know, some of the neighbors will fall off the cliff because they will come up on their horses. It was raining, and the next day you couldn't find them. They were down at the cliff because. So
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
so
and that's Puerto Rico to me, and I've always wanted to go. To me, that's another misunderstood place
yes,
because I've had students from Puerto Rico that they go, coach, people don't understand unless they go.
that's right,
It's one of those places that you have to see it to understand it.
right, and that goes to any other country that people are not aware of or what's going on in those countries, but
But
you
Puerto
know
Rico shouldn't be that way because it's part of America.
right. But like you were saying, is this country so much corruption going on in our country?
Sure, sure.
That it is what it is. And my people are very spiritual people. We believe in God a lot. That's why we're still standing, and we hold it down in our country the best we can. And you can live in our country with just what Mother Earth gives you.
Yeah.
You know,
But when you're a poor people like for me being Irish and being brought up, you know, uh, it's when people step on you, honestly, yeah, it sucks. But you know what? It makes you stronger.
it does.
It makes you resilient. Uh, my oldest son says that's called poor man's constitution.
Yeah.
You can't afford to get sick. You can't afford to get beaten down. So guess what? You stand up.
That's right. That's right. 100%. That's so true. That's so true. So, is there anything else that you would love to tell our viewers that you're doing or going to get into?
I'm going to Virginia to film a short called She's Mine, and I just started to work on interviewing a psychopath, which is a psychological thriller where I'm playing a detective who is after a serial killer, and I'm going to. It's a low budget, but
It's okay.
I like the character. I mean, that's why I'm doing it.
Right.
Uh, and we just now had our first meeting, and I'm going to get the killer at all costs. I don't care about my career. I don't care about retirement. I'm going to get that son of a gun.
Okay. Okay.
And But no, we just started to work on it. We're going to start issuing out some, of course, the GoFundMe stuff and all that. But I'm looking forward to it because it gets me a chance to play a character I don't normally get to play. But yeah, just keep an eye out. I have a webpage, BeauThompson.com, and I actually have broken down and got somebody to handle social media for me because I'm terrible at it.
Hey, welcome to my world. Okay.
But Don, I appreciate you doing this so much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming aboard.
And anytime I can do something for you, please just give a shout.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. A lot. Any shout outs you want to give out to any of your friends or?
Sure. I tell you, Becca Spencer is an absolute. She started to work on a web series, but she's an amazing actress, writer, producer, yoga master, and you can find her on my Facebook. But she is absolutely one of the most talented people, and she's underrated. She's not. Nobody notices her, and she is.
You need to recommend her over here on our show.
I definitely will. And my acting coach, Michelle Condre at React Studio, is undoubtedly one of the best acting coaches that nobody notices. The thing is, most actors can't handle her because of their egos, but she tells you the honest to God truth, and she will make you and push you. And I would not be doing what I'm doing without her. And those are the two people that right off the top of my head that I just think are absolutely amazing.
Okay. And I'm going to say this for you because I don't want you to get beat up after the show, and your wife. Okay.
My wife's going to beat me up. Anyway.
We want to call. Tom is talking about 911. Yeah, I'm on the floor.
Yeah, I just tattooed that across my arm because let me tell you something about my wife real quick. She has put up with me as a coach, which is the hardest thing that I've ever done. And she will never go to set with me because we were shooting a film and I was playing a recovering alcoholic and I hadn't seen my daughter in 10 years. And we have this wonderful scene and we're going, and all of a sudden the director called cut. And the reason was because somebody was going, and it was my wife.
How funny is that?
So she won't go to set with me anymore.
Cut! Who's making all the noise in the back? Oh, that's so funny. Ooh, shoot.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been great. It was fun. We even went over our time with an hour and a half. I love it when things are hot, you know. So definitely going to bring you back in a couple months, you know, to see where you at with the movie and what else you work with. And again, anyone that you want to recommend that you want to come on the show to get some exposure, man, send them to me and I'll gladly bring them on the show. I got some other talk shows that I can recommend you to. I don't know if you know Mr. My brother Mike Wagner from the Wagner Show.
Sure.
You know Mr. Wagner?
No, but I'll talk to anybody.
Okay, yeah.
I don't shut up.
Oh, you love him because I brought him on my show, right? To interview. He interviewed me. I brought him on my show. And it sounded like he was in character, like doing his show. You know? He was like, yeah, well, I'm on Mike Wagner and, you know, everything. And I'm like, Mike, you're on my show. You're not doing your show. You don't have to be in character. You just be yourself. But he's just like that, you know. So he's so cool. I'm gonna send him over your information so you can reach out and come on the show. I got a few more other people that I can send you to, and you know, and the more promotion for you and for what you're doing, it's good. This is what we're here for.
Well, I appreciate it, and that goes both ways. If anything I can do for you, let me know.
Thank you so much, and thank you for coming on the show. And have a great evening, and I'll see you soon.
All right, stay healthy. Take care.
All right. Ciao. All right. Yes, everyone. That was Baeu Thompson. He's an actor. A great guy, man. This is what I'm talking about, man. You know, we have an amazing conversation, and it goes this is an hour show. We went over an hour and a half. It's so amazing. And I want to thank everybody that logged in. Linda, Liz, Gypsy, Barbara. Who else came on? Yeah. T. Marvin Williams, big shout out to him. He's an R&B singer. My ex-wife Lisa Marie knows only playing. Lisa Marie, big shout out to Lisa Marie. She's a paranormal investigator. I've been picking on her all day. Shannon, big shout out to Shannon that came on. Karen, Christina, thank you, amazing women, for coming on the show. Oh, my man, Pimentel, J. Leonel, my man Cito, man, for logging in. You guys are awesome. So, I have another 2 more shows, one at 5 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. The one at 5 p.m. would be with Mr. John Harvey and Mr. Gene Russell. The Christian rockers. One is a vet, and the other one plays instrument. And they're actually, I believe, on the road doing a tour. I'm not sure if they're done with it, but we're definitely going to bring them on the show and talk to them and find out exactly what they're doing and where they at. And I want to thank Jennifer Dawn from WFTP Radio for connecting me with these amazing guys. So we will be on at 5 o'clock. Make sure you guys tune in and share, because sharing is caring. And remember to tune in on the Don Vic Show on YouTube. Just log into Don Vic Show. You can go on Facebook here live and watch the show, or you can go on Paranormal Post Network and watch the show as well live. And big shout out to all the paranormal teams. Big shout out to Parapost Network and everyone else on that page. And I guess I'll see you guys at 5 o'clock. My co-host should be here at 5 p.m. I don't know if he's done fighting with the Cookie Monster. I don't know if they got that situated yet. I know they were fighting over cookies, but I don't know if he'll make it here by 5. If not, I'll be here. If so, then we'll both be here at 5 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock, we have Celebrity Boxing from Celebrity Boxing. Frank Picard. He's a champ. We'll be talking to him about the fight that he had last weekend. Not this weekend, 2 weekends ago in Atlantic City. We were there live. We were recording the fight, and we met there at the arena there at the boxing thing. So we'll be talking to him and probably Rico the puppet as well. Funny puppet. You know what I'm saying? So I think Rico will be with Mr. Frankie at 7 p.m. So we'll see. And people, please tune in. Show the love. Again, thank you guys for all the love and support you guys give the show. And tune in because I spoke to Kara. Kara sent me a link about Bigfoot. And I believe they're coming on Minnesota Spirits show. So I'm just waiting to find out when that's going to come about so I can watch it. Again, I'm a Bigfoot fan. Anyone that knows any information about anyone investigating a Bigfoot, please send them my way so I can bring them on the show and talk to them. All right, girls. There's a whole lot of girls, women in here today, boy. I feel special. I feel special today. I got all these women. One guy, 2 guys, and about 50 women. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Linda. And everyone else. Okay. So I'll see you guys at 5 o'clock. Enjoy the show at 5 o'clock. I'm out, y'all.